So today I'll be showing you how to replace a stock Harley XG750 headlight with this Mac headlight. First step is to remove the battery. It took me a minute to realize how to remove the battery. Yeah, I don't know if you have to remove the seat or not to actually remove it, but I did. And I disconnected all this stuff. You probably don't need to do that. If you know, in the comments, let me know. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic in any way, so as you see, I took a long way to do it. I didn't film that, but I was going to, then I realized it took me like 3 hours to do, so, oh, cool. No, it actually took me like 20 minutes to do all that. But, besides that, next you want to remove the, I guess you want to remove the fairing? It says remove the front headlight, but I guess you gotta remove the fairing to get to the headlight.
I'm at. So shortly after I got on at that small agency, I got a little letter that was delivered by someone in the community. It was addressed to me, and my supervisor was like, "Hey, someone came to drop this off for you."
All
he hands
these
it to me,
bolts
and I
are
fucking open it up, and it was a recruitment letter from the local Ku Klux Klan.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no
you wanna
shit.
remove
I was
the
just
negative
like, I was like,
terminal,
what the fuck? I didn't even know the Ku Klux Klan still,
you do
fucking
not get
existed. But
electrocuted,
apparently they did, and they found out that I was the new guy in the PD, so they were feeling me out there. I was just like, what in the fuck?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, did your supervisor know what that was, handing it to you?
He found out after I opened it. Yeah. It was interesting, that's for sure. I was just like, what in the fuck?
Okay, so
Jesus.
Yeah, because I definitely did not grow up like that.
Screwdriver.
I was adopted. Me and my 3 other brothers were all adopted, and 2 of them are black, kind of thing. So I mean, we did not grow up like that.
Wait a second. Aren't all Texans hold on, all Texans are racist, right? They all have one hand on the Bible, one hand on their AK-47s. Probably an AR.
No. They're definitely not all racist, but there definitely are some of them. They're still around. That's for damn sure. So, but it's not like it's definitely not like people want to portray it to be. And of course, there'll be someone listening just, he said it. They're still around. No, it's not like it used to be. That's for damn sure. They fucking slink in the shadows. They send you them little letters like that. Just kind of like drop them off in the PD, shove them under the door to recruit you, kind of thing. They don't come walking up in their white robes, being like, "Hey, join us." Yeah.
That is. I mean, I'm just gonna play it again because.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think you'd be ignorant to say there's
looks
not
like it's just some
true
little
racists out
connection
there.
clip right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
very
4 or
simple
5 guys
to disconnect.
Yeah.
And
it's not like it used to be. Yeah.
I almost made a joke.
I thought it would be harder than
they
that.
slink in their shadows and stuff. I was like, yeah, they run for Democrat, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I mean, I said it.
Shit, yeah.
It's there. But they switched parties. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Who tries to control groups? I don't know. Anyway. Well, on that note, let's see. I offended Democrats on this one. And last week,
it looks like you probably don't need to remove the battery.
So let's see what else I can knock out of the park.
Oh, cool.
Just pissing people off left and right.
Okay. Hey, I hate Republicans too. Be independent. Be a man. Fuck these people.
You can't make everyone happy, but you can make everyone mad.
And that is my goal here at the Poorly Made Police Podcast, is to offend everyone in some way.
There you go.
Because we're all wrong about something or everything. I know I'm wrong about stuff. I don't know what, but I'm sure I'm wrong about something. Okay, that sounded a lot worse. That sounded a lot worse than intended. I try to be open-minded. That's all I'm saying. I'm not perfect.
There you go.
I'm not perfect, but there's... You know what the problem is with people like me?
Oh, okay. I see what you gotta do. You gotta remove...
Obviously, I lean towards the right, but I consider myself independent.
The actual headlight from this little plastic
we will
assembly.
pick out the worst thing of all of the parties instead of the good things that they do. And so like we're that guy.
Somehow.
Like as much as I try to say, like I try and focus on, I don't never say that, but I mean I try to stay focused on positive things and be objective. I'm just as guilty as everybody else is picking out like the worst of the worst, and
that's my new
well, that's that entire. But it's not, whatever it is. It's not
up any more than I already
we're all
did.
shitbags.
Yeah.
And
Yep. We're all just doing the best we can.
You know what? We need to do better. Group hug. We're gonna have a group hug in the center of America. We'll all just fucking hug it out. Everybody comes together, and it'll solve all our problems, and we can, stop making problems for ourselves. And that's not gonna work.
All right, do not pull that. Do not be like an idiot like me.
Kumbaya. It always works.
I don't think we've tried it
Pull
yet.
it from there.
We really haven't. I mean, like they used to do. What did they do in the '80s? They had like all the bands come together and do like the "We Are the World" or whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Pride Driver.
The center
That's what we call it these
continental
days.
U.S. is somewhere in Kansas, and I think they argue over where it actually is because we gotta get it right, or somebody wants.
And that's gonna be what prevents this whole thing is everyone's gonna be arguing about where the center of the U.S. is. So, yeah.
We're gonna pick a day. We're all gonna drive down there. We're all gonna shake hands. We're gonna have barbecue. We're gonna have this or that. We're just gonna say, all right, we all got our problems. Water under the bridge. Let's move on. And then somebody will be like, hey, so what are we doing about abortion? And then the World War III will start in the middle of Kansas.
Yep.
And it'll be like nothing ever happened. So, yeah,
there
you're right.
Go. Yep.
Want to go down a rabbit hole?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Dumb questions, because this came up today in a conversation with one of my buddies. Is they were telling me they had heard that, I grew up, and I assume you grew up the same way as we're all equal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool anymore. To say we're all equal is also racist, I have been told. And that we're all different. Yeah. I thought the way we grew up is like, hey, we all have our differences, but we're all created equal kind of thing. And you can't. Apparently, that's one of those things coming up now.
I really just want to smash
that's
this on
a
the ground
bad thing
right
to say is we're all equal.
But no.
And
they're trying to do the whole
like
there's some people that are set off better than other people, and other people just don't have as good of a shot at life because of their circumstances. Is that why they're saying that?
It's held in by all these retraining.
I'm like a big believer.
Brackets.
I don't know. We're gonna go to Star Wars rant here too, because I kind of.
I'm trying to get these undone. I have no idea how to get these undone.
Kind of talk about
I am in no way a
the
motorcycle
Force
mechanic.
Works on the weak-minded. Well, I think that the quote-unquote victimhood stuff works on the weak-minded, right? Like if you're told hey, we're all created equally, but then somebody says, well, but your parents didn't give you this or that when you grew up or whatever, or you were born here and you were born there, and then you start kind of you kind of, especially an impressionable person, you basically start telling them the world's against them. That's the way that's going to be received. And I think fewer people not everyone's going to be Elon Musk, right? It's all dependent on how hard you work, and honestly, sometimes you may work your ass off and you may not get where you want to go. We can't all be superstars, but I do believe that we all have the same abilities, right? If we choose to use them. Well, not the same. We're all better at different things, I think, is the thing. But we all have.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Internally, we all can be what the most we can be, right?
Yeah.
And we start just telling people all this shit. And I mean, the avenue I was going to go down is we're basically resegregating ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You all have to be part of a group. I ain't part of any group because I fucking hate all you motherfuckers. I don't want to be part of any group. That's a lie. I want to be your friend. Let's hug it out in Kansas. But you know what I'm saying though is what? Can we just fucking stop this shit? I get addressing everybody as an individual and all this shit, but can we just stop this fucking shit of I'm this or that and I belong to this group? Didn't we fucking fight against that? Why are we fucking doing that? It's insane to me.
Yeah. No, and that's one of the things, honestly, that's pretty cool about, living and working in, one of these smaller rural places in Texas is, you kind of have to rely on your neighbor kind of thing. And everybody, is more on the poor side kind of life. I mean, it's interesting, the kids, in that small town that I was working at, most of them aren't growing up with iPads and, you know, fancy phones and stuff like that, just simply because their families can't afford them. So like you see kids riding bikes and playing down the street like you would, you know, back in the 90s kind of thing, just simply because they don't have that stuff. But I mean, honestly, they're just as happy as anybody else kind of thing. I mean, they're just living life and just, you know, trucking away with what they got. And I mean, they're happy kind of thing. Sure, you know, they probably like to have some nicer stuff, and it would be nicer, you know, to have a little nicer house, a little more money for nicer food and all that, or whatever. But I mean, it's like you say, it's all what you make of it.
See if I get
people in a small community like that just having to rely on each other and, you know, having to go through everything together, it really does make a difference. And, you know, just having that kind of perspective, I think, is really good too.
This is not the recommended way. If you do this, I will have to do it.
Money doesn't.
I would highly recommend wearing safety glasses.
I would disagree to a certain extent. Like, dude, you got a lot of money. You can do a lot of fucking fun shit. But yeah. I also see it on the same hand as, again, it's what you make of it. You know, if you're, if you're like, well, I want all this stuff, I can't have it, and then you sit in your fucking room and you mope, or you get out and you fucking ride your bike. I mean, the best times of my life were riding my bike around with my friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the other saying, you know, is more money, more
I'm sure in the manual
to the coin.
You got to remove this, but
you know, and that's something we don't talk about. I got a friend that he's always been kind of well off, more well off than any of us were, and he bitches and complains as much as we do. We all have problems, you know, and I don't like this whole idea of like, well, your problems aren't really problems. Well, they're problems to him. Mm-hmm. You know, like, which Mercedes should I buy? Yeah, that's not a problem I would have, but it's a problem for him. We all have our own problems. Stop problem shaming, I guess.
Yeah.
Although that directly contradicts what I just said earlier about other things. but you know the point I'm trying to make though is, you know, just I think everybody should just fuck off and stop worrying about other people. That would be the number one thing is like stop looking at what somebody else has in their fucking house.
I don't know if you guys can hear this
coveting other people's shit. Like you have what you have. If you want something better, go out and fucking get it.
But it's poorly made.
And that applies to all you non-cop people listening that want to complain about your neighbor's tree branch like being in your yard. Do not fucking call the cops for that anymore. You need to stop that shit. Mind your business.
Triggered. Well, now that I'm done ranting and raving, do you want to do some of the dumb questions I have?
Sure, we can do that.
That's towards the end of the podcast.
Well, before I do that, is there anything else? Because I know you know what's coming with the dumb questions. Is there anything else I didn't ask about that you want to talk about?
Oh, I wrote some stuff down. Let me see if there's anything good here. Oh, yeah. So you were asking someone, I don't remember which one it was, but oh boy, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. But we're talking about like, you know, seeing like, you know, like dicks on duty or something like that, seeing naked people on duty or something like that.
Yes.
So one of the joys of being a jailer is you got to do shakedowns. And there was one night that a pair of scissors went missing in the med bay. So of course that means that we had to do a shakedown of the entire fucking jail. And the one that I worked at wasn't exactly super small. I mean, there was over 600 plus inmates in just the one facility I worked at. And my shift got tasked with doing the shakedown. And of course, you know, we were doing the men's side of things. And it was funny, like after work that morning, like we're all standing outside and I'm talking with one of the patrol deputies. And I was just like, you know what? I just saw over 600 different penises in one evening. And he was just like, how does that make you feel? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I need to go take a shower. It was a horrible night. Yeah, all the unsung, the unglorifying stuff that you have to deal with in the jail there.
There's a guy that I'm trying to get on the podcast, and I don't know if we'll end up talking about this, and he knows exactly who he is if he listens to this. But he was like, dude, the stories I could tell you about penises.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Big and small around the world.
I definitely saw my biggest and my smallest one there on that night. So, yep.
You walk in and be like, holy fucking shit.
Dude, okay, it was kind of funny. Like, so we were doing this one tank. It had like 48 people in it because like 50 was the max to where you had to have like someone actually like there all the time. So we were having to go through 48 guys there. And I noticed that
just
there
got
was this
another
one
click
guy
off.
that kept
There's
like
only
hanging out like in the
my
back. He kept
snip
like working
or
his
my
way to the end of the
pliers
line.
won't
And then he was the
cooperate.
very last person.
There's
And
just
then,
two
you
more
know,
rings
when
left. I
he
gotta get
took his
off.
clothes off, I understood why. That poor dude had the smallest penis I'd ever seen, kind of thing. And
Dude, you
I
were
was just
supposed
like,
to tell
oh, man.
people I was in that jail. That wasn't cool, man.
Man, yeah, I felt bad for him. I was just like, oh, I see why you waited till last now. I get it. You're good, man.
Well, I guess we got to probably do something for him.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Cool. That made it a lot easier. Being the last
This
one.
is for you, small peen dude.
Got the old one out.
God, I have played this song on like almost every podcast recently.
Yeah, you really have.
New headlight in.
I've abused the shit out of it, and I have at this point I have like 6 or 7.
I don't know
already
if
done in
it's
the
supposed
queue,
to
and I'm
line
pretty
up
sure a
in
lot
some
of them have
place
it too. So
specific.
I've abused the shit out of
Specific?
that one for a while. Yeah, that's nice. On that note, you ready for some dumb questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you do it again? Would you be a cop again if you had to start
Looks like
all
it
over?
is.
I would, yeah. And
Because
I don't know.
there's a
I don't know
notch
if this
up
is how
top
it was
right.
for you,
I mean,
but it definitely is a calling kind of thing. I mean, there's no logical reason why I should want to
attempt
do
to get
this
this out.
or keep doing it. But I enjoy it. I really do.
cool.
I enjoy
Don't think I broke it.
honestly the moments that really
Um,
make it is not the whole like taking people to jail
I think I
and
scratched
all that
it a
kind of
little
stuff.
bit,
It's
but
those few moments
There's a
where
little
you're
notch
like
up top here.
actually genuinely helping someone that's going through a
Lines up
crisis that
with
really does make it.
The
Kind
notch
of thing.
up here.
And you know, we get to an opportunity to do that on a regular basis that a lot of other people just are
And the
not
factory
able to
Harley
get,
Davidson
you
light,
know,
it's a lot
get an
easier
opportunity to do that.
Identify.
And plus just the random shit that you see in law enforcement, it's pretty epic. I mean, they make TV shows and movies and they're still popular to this day, even though everyone hates cops kind of thing, because of how epic this job is. So it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity kind of thing.
I probably have to review back.
It's in the DNA, I guess.
Yeah, you're fucking right about that. You know, and I meant to talk about this, but we moved on from it. But you mentioned something that I thought was really phenomenal, is taking a break and taking that time off. I wish practically there was a way for guys to do that.
Yeah,
you know, you'll take
absolutely.
a week off, you'll have a vacation, you know, whatever.
I have an idea for how to be
And I don't
second.
think it would have necessarily saved me from where I was at. Like, ultimately, I'm really happy about the way things moved out or moved on. Or words. You know what I'm saying. Words I'm saying.
So I got these pliers.
I'm glad how things worked out for me. I think it worked out really well for me. But you're absolutely right, dude. It is in the fucking DNA. And it's definitely one of those things where I don't want to say I feel like less of a man, but I feel like I'm going to waste because I know, not to like toot my own horn, but like I think I was okay at it. I wasn't the greatest cop ever, and I never would be, but I felt like I was pretty okay at it, and I should be out there. You know, like I know a lot of people really like this podcast, but I'm not Joe Rogan, man. I can't say other. I can barely speak. I don't have a good radio voice. You know, I hate to even bring this up again because it kind of went away. But somebody said I sounded like McLovin. You know, like
definitely make sure that the pliers don't fit in there.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to edit that shit out.
With this
But
thing.
it's cool that I've had the ability to do this, and you know, I'm not. This isn't like me quitting or anything like that. But I just know that like I'm not a great podcaster. I know I'm a lot better cop than I am a podcaster, I guess is the best way I can put it. And this has been a really cool thing to do. And, you know, however long this lasts, I'll be able to say, like, I fucking did this for however long I did it, and we had a good time, and I talked to a lot of fucking awesome people. Like, this is fucking awesome. But at the same hand, like, I know a lot of, I know a ton of people that left around the same time I left that are fucking doing
any quicker or safer way to do this.
It's just
for
it's in our blood.
Everybody else out there,
you can kind of get hooked, and there's nothing like it. There's no other job on the planet where you get paid to do what you get to do. And yeah, is there some shitty things that you have to deal with?
I make no money.
You gotta look at 60 men's penises in a night or 600 men's penises. It may happen.
That's why
to
I
you.
am on the streets.
You might go to some gnarly dead guys. You might see some fucking god awful things that will fuck with you your entire life. But
do like
there's
to
that payoff.
mother lover.
That higher
like
chasing, I guess, and there's nothing like it.
My motorcycle.
Yeah,
Across
100%.
multiple state lines.
100%. You know, it's kind of interesting. The agency that I'm at now, they used to have a program
over a couple days
where when you were on patrol, you could actually do like a 6-month tour, like in another specialized unit, like an investigation somewhere. So like property crimes, you could go over there and just work there for 6 months. It wouldn't be like a permanent assignment or something like that, but you could go back there and just do that for 6 months. And I thought that they can't do it now just because of staffing. I mean, we're, you know, facing the same issues as everybody else, but I thought that was a phenomenal idea, you know, was letting people go back there, kind of get them off the street, take a break from the patrol side of things. And at the same time, they're learning some skills and whatnot that they can take back with them to the streets that will ultimately just benefit everyone on a whole kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, something like that. It'd just be cool if more departments could do something like that, or something.
Well, the hiring, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that's ever going to get better unless nationally there's some real incentive for people to be cops. Because I think we've lost a whole generation of people that would have been interested in law enforcement. I think there's going to be a big gap because
totally.
Even out here, I think they're struggling to get people where they wouldn't necessarily struggle because people wanted to do it. And you know, where the job is alive and well, still, like people see what's in the news and say, "Well, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna fucking do that." Fuck that.
Yeah. No, it's funny. The agency I'm working at now, it was actually the agency I wanted to work for in the first place. But back then, that would have been back in 2010. Back then, they would have 2 positions that would open up, and they'd have over 200 people applying for those 2 positions. And then,
so
I mean, nowadays we're just like anybody else. You know, we have like a bunch of positions open, and we're lucky if we can get 20 people to even pass a test, you know, to come in and interview.
Yep, it was kind of foreseen by a lot of people, not just me, of this whole idea of we're actually going to get bad cops now because people are getting hired that wouldn't have got hired 10 years ago.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Memphis.
That was
Memphis. Memphis.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny to see, like, you know, tattoo policies change. You know, so I ended up getting tattoos like after I became a cop, and I'm like fully sleeved out kind of thing. But it was funny, yeah. Like when I went to Nashville, you know, like I had a ring tattoo, you know, my wedding ring tattooed. Back then, you know, like I had to have it covered kind of thing when I joined. And by the time I left, they were like fine with like ring tattoos and neck tattoos and all that stuff. It's just funny how like quickly things would change like that.
How did you fucking cover that? With like a Band-Aid or something, or what?
No, I just wore it like one of those Quelo rings. I just wore it over that.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I'm an idiot. That makes sense.
You're not an idiot. You're just poorly made.
No, I'm an idiot. It's true.
Cool.
Airhead.
But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how like quickly that stuff changed. You know, just being there kind of thing, just because they needed more applicants and whatnot.
Well, you know, if you have a tattoo, that automatically means you're a bad cop, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What is the dumbest thing you did as a rookie?
Oh boy.
So I don't know if you can sell that. One of the rings.
I consider this dumb. This is probably more embarrassing. It is more what it was kind of thing. I definitely did some dumb stuff, but this one just kind of sticks out as like more embarrassing and whatnot. So there was this one particular problem child in that small agency of ours that this young lady who was like 19 or 20 or something like that, just constantly like she'd get high on her dope and then she'd start breaking into houses.
Okay, so what I did to
doing all this
make
stupid
sure this
stuff,
thing
just
will
an
not get
absolute
offset
thorn
is
in
where that
the
notch
side
is
kind
right
of
there.
thing. So
I put this
we
retaining
ended up
clip
getting a
in
warrant for
opposite
her
of
arrest.
it. Because what I did like the first time, I
it
put
was
that
just
retaining
a
clip over
Class
here,
C,
and then it just kept on like
I can't
pushing
remember. It was some
the light
stupid like
in that direction.
suspended license like ticket warrant or something like that. Back when we could actually take people to jail and stuff, but you know, it was at least going to kind of help alleviate some of the problems for the night. So she lived out in the county, so I go out there.
So following
and
Isaac
I go up to her
Newton
dad's
and
trailer where she's living at. He invites me inside kind of thing, and I'm just like, hey, so I'm here because your daughter has a warrant for her arrest, and he's just like, what? bullshit kind of thing. And she's sitting there.
Like,
She knows exactly what I'm talking about kind of thing.
Opposite.
So she's, you know, doing the whole pie eye thing and whatnot, knows exactly what's happening
So
and whatnot. And he's like, nah, man, like, you're just making this up kind of thing. I'm just like, no, sir, I got the warrant with me kind of thing. He's like, well, let me see it then. So I'm like, all right, I'll fucking show it to you. So, you know, I go out to my patrol car. And, you know, this is out in the country, so it's got one of the nice little gravel roads that, you know, it's got all the little potholes in it and all that shit. And so I go to my patrol car, and as I'm like pulling the door open, I step in this pothole, and I end up smashing my face right on the side of the door, like the edge of the door. And I'm just kind of, oh shit, ouch, that hurt kind of thing. So I I grabbed that warrant and I walked back inside, not realizing that I got like a big old cut on my eyebrow. So I like come walking in with blood dripping down my face apparently, and I'm just like, here's that warrant. And the guy's just looking at me like, dude, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I just smacked my head. And then I wipe my head and I see, oh shit, that's a lot of blood. And man, he was such a nice dude. He like went, he got his first aid kit, brought it out. He was like sitting there patching me up. And then I fucking arrest his daughter on that warrant.
That's fucking
like, thanks
awesome.
for the benches, dude. All right, turn around, put your hands behind your back, sunshine. You're going to jail. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. Looking back, it's like, man, that's kind of embarrassing.
that's fucking amazing. What's your favorite dead guy story?
Oh boy, yeah. So that's going to be in Nashville for sure. So, I mean, I'd had some dead body stuff where like I show up on scene and, you know, like someone died like right then and there, but I'd never had like one of those nice old like several week old dead body kind of things. So we get a call for one while I'm in training, and I tell my FTO, I was like, you know, hey, I've never worked at, you know, like, hey, we found a dead body kind of scene, so I kind of like to experience that or whatever. So he's like, okay, yeah, we can take primary on that.
Well, I'm putting this clip
so we look at the call notes, and it's at this like high rise
phone number. It's 988.
I guess it would be like a retirement home. It wasn't a nursing home, and it wasn't
you
like an
guys
assisted living place, but it was definitely for like older
suicide or harming yourself or someone else.
And the woman that called it in
988.
said, like in
Here's
the call
a
notes,
second
it
clip I got
said,
in.
you know,
I think after the
woman
first
thinks
one, it
her
really doesn't
neighbor
matter where you put it
might
in.
be dead.
But I know
there
I
are
just kinda
maggots
think to myself,
crawling
but
through
yeah,
the wall into
if
her
you
apartment
think about harming yourself,
from that
someone
side.
else,
Yeah, and it was just like,
suicide,
oh boy,
just
yeah.
call that number. It's very,
this ain't good.
very easy.
So we get
It's
in the
free,
elevator, we
confidential.
go up, and as soon as that door opened to that floor, like you could smell it. It was just like, oh, yep, somebody dead here. So we go over to we talked to her first, kind of thing, and she's like, yeah, about a week ago I started smelling this really bad smell from next door, and I called maintenance about it, and I guess they never did anything about it. And then today I noticed that there was maggots crawling through the wall over to my apartment. And I was just like, oh shit. So yeah, we open the door, and homeboy was like melted into his chair. And so the last 3 days right before we got called, they had turned off the AC because they were doing some maintenance on it. Yeah. So and he'd been dead for like at least 2.5 weeks. And this was in the middle of July in Nashville, and it was nice and warm. Oh yeah.
You're a chef.
Oh, 100%.
TV star.
Yeah, he'd already.
You want to harm someone?
Yeah, he burst and everything, and like his entire face was just covered in maggots, kind of thing. And it was weird. Like looking from the door when I first looked in, it looked like his face was like moving around, but it was just simply because his like face was just covered with maggots. And oh yeah, that smell was just absolutely horrendous. So soupy, disgusting. Yeah.
This is actually easier than I thought it would be. Man, I was struggling
the same way again.
I'm kind of regretting that I asked.
Retaining clips back in.
Yeah, it was bad, and then it was funny too because you know me being the new guy kind of thing. You know, they kind of had to mess with me a little bit. So like the medical examiner, you know, came in and
gotta make sure these work.
Hats off to those medical examiners. Like this woman, she comes waltzing in, like not covering her face, nothing, acting like it's another day at work kind of thing. You know, and I'm over there like dry heaving, you know, in the corner kind of thing. And she, you know, she's doing all of her like checking the body out, which that doesn't get, I don't get that. It's like, it's obviously a dead person. Why are we having to move shit around? And then she's like, hey, I'm going to need you to come help me like move this guy and like flip him over. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yep. And I'm like, I'm telling you this right now. I'll do it, but I'm gonna throw up all over this dude, kind of thing, if we do that. And then they told me that they were just messing with me, that we didn't have to do that. And I was never so grateful. Oh my goodness.
So once I get all the retaining clips in, I'll show you that.
All right, that one was bad.
There's some metal flakes in there
The next
from
thing I
my
got for you,
stupidism.
and you can choose how you answer it. Either something you wish you knew as a young man that you know now.
I don't know how well you
or
can
what
see
is
this on the
something you
camera or
wish
if
you
I'm even
learned
in
in
angle, but
training
if I'm not,
that
well
you
then
learned out on the streets.
I know I'm an idiot.
Good question.
Oh yeah,
oh man.
Wait, do I even need this anymore? No, I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think it's been said before, but honestly, just the whole you're not going to be able to save the world kind of thing. I know when I first started, I was young. I was like 22, 23 when I first started and everything. And, you come at it right at bushy tail. You're ready to save the world and, put bad guys in jail, make a difference and all that. There, especially like dealing with some of those same people over and over and over again and whatnot. I just there was a little time there where I kind of would take stuff personally and whatnot, and I just had to learn. Like man, you just do the best you can, kind of thing. Take the good things, those good moments, and hold on to those, and those other ones you gotta just kind of let them go, kind of thing. Kind of wish I would have learned that a little sooner because I don't know. I took some stuff from the job a little personal kind of thing. I think that's partly, why I burnt out a little bit too, was just taking everything a little too personally. But, obviously I got over that kind of thing. But the sooner you learn that, the better you'll ride in law enforcement.
This is not the breakfast one.
Yep, if you can grow some thick skin, you're going to have a pretty good career, I think.
Yeah.
I just dropped screws.
What is the proudest moment of your career?
Giggity.
Ooh, proudest moment. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess I'd have to say this last Christmas we worked a drive-by shooting. Some gang members were having their little feud thing, and on Christmas morning at like 3 a.m, they came by and shot this house up, and inadvertently ended up hitting an 11-year-old girl inside. She was shot through both legs, kind of thing, and I was the second officer on scene, and first officer got a tourniquet on one side, and I got one on the other side, and I didn't realize this at the time, but I guess apparently it ultimately ended up saving her life. I just found out about that more recently, kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know, just that's definitely really cool, kind of thing. When you can respond to a situation like that, and actually be able to save someone's life. That's pretty good feeling right there. That's for damn sure. So.
That's awesome, man.
I actually like this.
You know what I think you deserve? I think
relocate this up here.
Well, hot dog. That's real sweet of you, man.
You really like saying hot dog, by the way.
I do. Have I said that a whole bunch? I didn't even realize it.
A ton.
Oh crap! Yeah.
We should bring it back, man. More people need to say that.
Oh, hot dog! I just think of Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I didn't even think about that till you just did that. Oh man, you're right.
I gotta be honest, man.
Alright, so I'm gonna end the video right here.
If you have a little kid,
they watch
the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I love the
so I'm
hot dog
thinking
song.
about relocating this headlight assembly up here.
Stuff too. It's great.
Like I said, if you guys know
I
any
went
easier
through a
ways
3-day
about
stretch this last week where I had the SpongeBob theme stuck in my head just because my kids were watching
comments,
it. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah,
leave them in there. Make sure you like
really
this video.
right now. We're really
comment about how much you hate this Harley Davidson XT
yeah.
500.
It's Octonauts for my kid.
Comment favorite color.
Like
how much of an idiot I am.
It's almost educational too.
It is.
And comment what kind of bike you got.
Let's see. Would you want your?
And y'all, have a nice day. I'll put up a video about the review of the light later.